Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
With living in luxury at Southland Casino Hotel, the good life is closer than you think. Members get one entry with every 100 points earned playing on their Lucky North Rewards card, plus one free entry daily. Win free play at our hourly drawings, and don't miss our Saturday grand prize drawings in March. You could win a home theater package, premium massage chair, an outdoor jacuzzi, and $250,000 cash. Luxurious prizes await at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or older. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
Gary Parrish speaking to you from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis. He's producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you heard the news. If not, we'll talk about it momentarily. I'll catch you up completely. Penny Hardaway will return for a ninth season at the University of Memphis. I reported it earlier today. I'll explain to you exactly how it happened, why it's happening. We'll do that momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. The next segment, Micheal Eaves going to join me. He, of course, hosts SportsCenter for ESPN. I'll talk to him about a number of things, including the World Baseball Classic, which is apparently awesome. I can't tweet about it or really watch too much of it because I'm supposed to be focused on college basketball nonstop. But it looks awesome. I saw Gunnar Henderson homered last night, Bennett. That's good for your Baltimore Orioles. The World Baseball Classic seems incredible. I know Micheal Eaves has been following it. I'm going to talk to him about that and other things. He'll be here in the next segment. Finish talking to him. We'll take a break. Come back. We'll do 5 things you need to know. At which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, the bracket for the 2026 NCAA Tournament. It is set. Miami, Ohio made it as an at-large. Auburn did not, but the SEC still got a conference best 10 bids to the tournament. We'll dive in about 40 minutes. Your Memphis Grizzlies will return to the court tonight in Chicago at the United Center. Grizz Bulls, it'll be the franchise's first game since Friday's loss to Jalen Duren and the Pistons that extended the losing streak to 7 games. We'll talk Grizz. We'll do it a little later on in the show. It appears NBA expansion is on the way. Congrats, Las Vegas, Seattle. The Grizz, perhaps, moving to the Eastern Conference. I'll get you caught up on that situation. We'll do that in just a bit. Charles Barkley is getting criticized from every angle for dismissing the Lakers. Even though the Los Angeles franchise is currently sitting at 3rd in the Western Conference. Spend some time on that. We'll do it in the third segment. And the 98th Academy Awards, they were held last night in Los Angeles. Conan O'Brien hosted. Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor. One battle after another. Got 6 trophies. I'll get Bennett's thoughts on what happened in Los Angeles last night. We'll do that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. And then we'll eventually do GP's Carryout and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with what is the big headline of the day, at least in our market, and that is that it's now official. Penny Hardaway will return for a 9th season as coach of the University of Memphis men's basketball program. As I had indicated over the past couple of weeks, this was a decision that was expected to be made following a disappointing season that in many ways had, at least at some point, everything up in the air. This was always where this was likely headed for a 9th season with standards that must be met. But trust me when I tell you, it was far from guaranteed. If you want some reporting, here you go. I'm told that Penny Hardaway and athletic director Ed Scott, they met this weekend to hash out how this thing is going to go moving forward, if it was going to, in fact, move forward. And my understanding is that they'll enter year 9 with a remade men's basketball staff, headlined by a general manager. You know, Penny has acknowledged publicly that he needs help. In advance of year 9, my understanding is that he's going to get it. He'll have a general manager for the first time in his tenure. Other coaches have had one for multiple years. He'll have a new associate head coach, and you'll recognize the name, I think, when you hear that. My understanding is that he will once again, just like this past season, have more money than anybody else in the American Conference to roster build with. And in return, he will be expected to win his league and make the NCAA tournament in 2027. And if he doesn't, the 2027-28 season would likely, at the University of Memphis, feature a new head coach. I think everybody will understand that when we tip it off in November. Big Bet Bennett, good to see you on this Monday morning. Please provide your thoughts on Penny Hardaway returning for a 9th season at the University of Memphis.
Yeah, I feel good about it. I mean, we talked about this for the past couple weeks. I think that the way that you just laid that all out makes a lot of sense with retooling the staff, well, rebuilding the staff, frankly, getting a general manager in here to help for roster building, and then, you know, having the expectations coming in to this season. Like, you know, it was funny watching the American Conference Tournament this weekend, and USF wins it, and it's like it is set up to really – it's set up to take this thing every year if you have the best roster in the league, you know, the best resources in the league, because they had to win. USF had to win 2 games. They were the best team in the league. They get the double bye. They had to win 2 games to win the conference. Like, it really sets itself up for you to be able to win the thing if you have the best resources in the league, which Memphis is probably going to have next year. So I think it's the right move. We know how huge that buyout is that you've talked about as well. But I also think that I've said this to you before. I think there is a really good chance that he is able to turn this thing around in one season and get right back to where he was last season.
I mentioned Penny Hardaway will be back, but with a general manager and a remade staff. The general manager yet to be determined. The remade staff, there's now breaking news from Jason Munn's commercial appeal. Jermaine Johnson, Mike Davis, and Roy Rogers all have been dismissed, as has the strength and conditioning coach. So by the time they're done, I'm not sure Penny will be the only recognizable face in that men's basketball program from the previous season, but he's going to be one of the few, and that's already underway and was part of the conversations to ensure he would be back for a 9th year. Real quick, a statement released this morning from Athletic Director Dr. Ed Scott reads this way: Penny is deeply committed to this program and to the University of Memphis. We have had productive conversations about the future of Memphis basketball and the steps necessary to position our program to compete at a high level. I appreciate Penny's willingness to evaluate every aspect of the program and make the adjustments needed to achieve our ultimate goal of postseason success. End quote. If you read my story over at CBSSports.com, you probably saw there's a quote in there comparing this situation to the Bobby Hurley situation at Arizona State. And when a source told me that, here's what that source meant. And I think, or at least I hope, this will clarify sort of where we're at moving forward with Penny Hardaway in Memphis. Bobby Hurley was the coach at Arizona State. He's a college icon, like college basketball legend, good dude. Everybody likes him. But he also went 13-20 2 seasons ago with a payroll that should have led to more wins than 13. After that season, that disappointing season, it was reasonable for Arizona State to move on. In other words, if Arizona State would have done it, you wouldn't have seen too many national college basketball columnists using 700 words to ask what in the world is ASU doing. Most people wouldn't have cared one way or another, but if forced to write about it, you'd have probably said, I understand. But here's the truth. It would not have been an across-the-board popular decision to move on after last season with the Arizona State fan base. And it also would have been a very expensive move. So what Arizona State decided last March was that what makes more sense than spending a bunch of money you don't really have to buy out a coach that a lot of your fans would rather just keep, why not bring him back for another season with nothing beyond that guaranteed and all of that being very publicly known? Firing Bobby Hurley after the disappointing 2024-25 season would have been, for the Arizona State fan base, divisive and costly. Firing Penny Hardaway after the disappointing 2025-26 season would have also been divisive and costly, except like 1,000,000 times more divisive, because though Bobby Hurley is a college basketball legend, he is not an Arizona State icon or a Tempe product. Penny Hardaway is a basketball legend, period. A Memphis legend, a Tigers legend. And as I've said many times over the past few weeks, that really does make this situation different than it would be literally if any other human on the planet were the coach of this program. And if you're a local person who doesn't understand that, or an outsider who doesn't understand that, just understand you're a local person who doesn't understand that, or an outsider who doesn't understand that. Period. This is a very unique situation. It's delicate. Even more delicate than the Patrick Ewing situation at Georgetown. And yes, I think even more delicate than it even was with Larry Finch at Memphis roughly 3 decades ago. The way I remember it, at least, right or wrong, it felt like Memphis fans were largely ready to move on from Larry. I was in college then, so it's a while ago. But I remember talk radio being nasty. I think if X existed in 1997 and you put a poll up, Memphis fans would have voted to move on. Perhaps some of them didn't like the way it went down, the way it was handled. Those stories will live forever. Everybody obviously hated that it came to that with somebody who meant so much to the city and the university. But I think most Memphis fans at the time were ready to move on. Right now with Penny, I'm not sure what the breakdown is exactly. But I don't think he's, as they say in politics, an 80-20 issue with Memphis fans. Side note, this is why we always have politicians arguing about stuff that most of us don't really care about and stuff that doesn't matter to most of our lives. They just hammer home points where there is like a broad consensus. Sadly, it works for reasons we can get into another time. But that's not the point. The point is Penny is not an 80-20 issue with Memphis fans. He's just not. It might be 60-40 one way or 60-40 the other way. I'm honestly not sure. It might be 50-50. But it's definitely not 80-20 against Penny Hardaway. It's just not. So, if you're the decision-making business, when it comes to this decision, just think about this practically. Is it smart to pay roughly $6 million that you don't have to alienate your greatest alum by firing him from a job he believes he deserves to keep in a way that, if you moved on, would undeniably fracture the fan base? Is that smart? That's a rhetorical question. It's obviously not. This is the better path from this point for the University of Memphis athletic department for a lot of reasons. Not only basketball reasons, just for a lot of reasons. This is the better path. Because when you now do it this way, the way it's going to be done, very publicly, what would have been a very hard and controversial decision this March should be a much easier and less controversial decision and less expensive decision next March. If Penny wins his league and goes to the NCAA tournament next season, he's going to get an extension, and everybody will understand why. But if Penny doesn't win his league, doesn't go to the NCAA tournament next season, he'll likely be nudged out in the nicest way possible. And everybody, at least every reasonable person, will also understand why. Put it another way, it's not easy right now to find a wealthy Memphian who bleeds blue, who wants to be the person everybody will know put up the money to knife Penny 1 year after he won a conference championship and received a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. But it will be much easier, in fact, probably quite easy, to find somebody to do it if he misses the NCAA tournament again and is sitting on only 3 appearances in the NCAA tournament and just 1 NCAA tournament victory after 9 years, after next season. So Penny Hardaway and the players he enrolls and the people he hires are going to decide his fate now. Take advantage of all of the advantages you have in this league and do what you're expected to do. And year 10 will be a thing that happens. But if the program underachieves again and misses the NCAA tournament again, I think we'll all know next March that that's probably where everything ends. I'll ask Micheal Eaves about it next.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dome Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dome Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Absolutely amazing. Wells, a rhythm 3. Yes, sir! That's an exclamation point on
Grizz fans, defend your home court from pests with Terminix. Before cockroaches, spiders, and mice show up, Terminix it with our pest-free 365 Plus year-round protection plan. Visit Terminix.com today and enter code SAVE50 at checkout to save $50. Terms apply. Go Grizzlies! Junior Grizzlies summer camps presented by Ortho South are the key to a slam dunk summer with over a dozen 4-day camps perfect for hoopers ages 6 to 14 looking to build fundamental skills and make unforgettable memories. With camps across the Mid-South in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, you won't have to go far for the ultimate hoops experience this summer. Registration comes with a Junior Grizzlies jersey, lunchbox, and a basketball to take home. Don't wait, space is limited. Visit Grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies today to secure a spot for a fun-filled summer. That's Grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Welcome back. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York City. Ben and Doyle back in the Built for Tough studio in Memphis producing things. And I'm joined now, as I am every Monday, by Micheal Eaves, who, of course, hosts Sports Center for ESPN. Micheal Eaves is GP. How are you on this day after Selection Sunday? It is here, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute, but I want to talk to you first about what we opened on today. It's now official. After some level of uncertainty, Penny Hardaway is going to return to the University of Memphis, his alma mater, for a 9th season as the men's basketball coach. When I tweet this, some people are happy, others wonder why. I think you probably have a better perspective than most people who don't live in Memphis because you once lived in Memphis. You understand more properly what Penny means to the city, to that university. And so I imagine you understand why he's getting another year to try to get this thing right.
Yeah, he just means too much to the university and too much to the community to send him out in such a fashion that may seem disrespectful, right? Now, I can understand why Memphis fans specifically are disappointed because he hasn't brought the level of success that a lot of people expected him to. Based on everything that he had done in his past, right, as a tremendous basketball player, but also had very good success coaching, even though it was on the high school level. They thought you bring Penny to Memphis with that acumen and the resources, we should be better. And it just hasn't been consistently good since he's been there. So I can understand that side as well. But at the same time, it's Penny Hardaway. Yeah. You know, it's not Josh Pastner. It's not some other people who've been through there in the past. Like, this is Penny. He's from there. He played there. Like, it is different. But also I would say this, Gary, if there was a slam dunk hire out there and maybe the money from some booster somewhere to get it done, I think then you could make the argument why they should not have brought him back, right? But if you don't have those two things, what are you really doing anyway?
And so you're exactly right, and you nailed it. They don't have either of those things. Whoever Memphis is going to hire to replace Penny Hardaway, it is not somebody that's going to immediately excite the fan base the way Penny Hardaway's hiring did, or the way John Calipari's hiring once did. That is not possible with the program in the year 2026, excuse me, or probably until some sort of conference realignment happens in some way. Also, the buyout is roughly $6 million. No wealthy, and this is the way it was put to me, you can't find a wealthy Memphian who bleeds blue, who wants to be the person who knifed Penny Hardaway a year after he won a conference champion. Full stop right there. It's just hard to find that money. Nobody wants their name on that. Let him miss the tournament again next year. People will put their name on that. But nobody, at least I was told, you can't find six. Even if every decision maker on campus wanted to do it, the money's not there to do it because nobody wants that blood on their hands, so to speak.
Exactly. And also think about this. Let's say it doesn't work out and Penny Hardaway is no longer the Memphis coach. You still want him to be an asset for the program.
Yes.
Right. So you can't just kick him out the door just because of this particular season and because there was success last season. Right now, if it gets worse next year, then the case becomes stronger, obviously. And look, here's the thing about Penny. I mean, I know Penny. I've known him for a long time. We're not close, but I know him well enough to realize this. No one's more disappointed about this than him. Right. Now, he may not show it the way the fans do, but do you think Penny Hardaway wanted to go back to his alma mater and have the success look like this? Absolutely not. So now he's in a position where he's got to reevaluate not just his staff, and clearly he should, but also himself in terms of how he's running his program, because he doesn't want to go out like that either. Right? I mean, he will be a legend forever, but at the same time, you're like, oh, he was great, but damn, he was a terrible coach. Nobody wants that on their resume, and especially someone like Penny Hardaway.
You know what? I haven't had a meaningful conversation with Penny in a little while, but I know him. I think well enough to know this is tearing him up. I think he's probably the most famous Memphian and one of the wealthiest Memphians. And I bet you the past 4 months have been absolute misery for him in ways 100%. That are hard to understand. And that's why, listen, I have strong opinions about the way the first 8 years have unfolded, about where I believe this is probably headed. But as somebody who grew up cutting yards so that I could buy scalp tickets to go watch him play in the Pyramid, I hate that we have gotten to this point, and I would love to see him pull out of it. And the next 20 years look like the past 20 years, the way Gonzaga and Mark Few dominated the West Coast Conference. I don't know that that's a likely scenario, but I would love to. If I could write the story, that's the way I would write it. But to your point, yeah, it's mad as any Memphis fan is today at the news that Penny is getting a ninth year, to the extent that those fans exist, and I know they do. Just trust me, you're not as bothered by what's been going on with Memphis basketball than Penny is. And hopefully, with a new general manager and perhaps a better support staff, things will start moving in the right direction ASAP.
Well, clearly things have to change, right? If you keep doing the same thing and over again, that's basically stupidity when you're not having success. So changes will be made, but the question is, will the correct changes be made, and how soon will you see the return on those changes? And if you're Memphis fans, or maybe someone tied to the university from a booster standpoint, I think you want to see those changes come to fruition as soon as next season.
Okay, we're going to get back to college basketball in a second. I want to ask you about the World Baseball Classic. How did this become awesome? Because it's awesome.
It became awesome because players from other countries cared about it so much that they were sending their best players to it from the beginning, where Americans were not. And then you have different countries winning the World Baseball Classic other than America, and it made them feel some type of way. So now everyone is emotionally invested in it. And so when the players to that skill level are invested in it, then you just get that energy permeating throughout the entire process, whether it's fans, the way it's covered, all of that stuff. And to me, especially with the Dominicans or even the Japanese and the Japanese fans specifically, that energy is something that Major League Baseball on a regular just doesn't have in any capacity whatsoever, right? And it makes it more fun to watch when everyone is involved has that type of energy. And what I find fascinating is that the Americans get it in response to the other teams having it, right? Because, we're like all Americans, baseball, da-da-da. But then soon as the Dominicans are talking trash or whatever, now the Americans are getting into it, and it looks like a better product. It just does. Bring that energy Tell me you're having fun.
Yeah.
So many baseball players look like they are miserable. And I get it. Baseball's hard. It is so hard. It's one of the hardest sports out there next to golf. But when you do something great, celebrate that shit because it's rare. So have fun with it. Like, you're not showing up your opponent by doing it. You're celebrating something great. And the fans love that energy. I'm sorry. It's 2026. It's not 1966 anymore.
The best. I mean, the other night, like, I'm obviously focused on college basketball, so I feel a little stupid even tweeting about it, so I don't, because I don't want to hear a million people say, I thought you were supposed to be watching college basketball. It's 2026. I got 5 screens in front of me. I can watch
Exactly.
everything. But, like, Ronald Acuna homers and then Shohei back. It's like, come on, man. This is as good as it gets. And then last night, Skeens, and I know the controversy at the end. I didn't like that either with the, I think, missed calls.
Yeah,
but,
it was.
like, yeah, it was bad. I mean, real bad. I think Pujols, he took the high road better than I would have. I mean, that was, and it brings back the conversation to, like, do we need to get the humans out of that role? Because, I mean, Juan Soto has, like, the best eye in the history of baseball. If he tells you you missed, and then the computer shows it. That was a bad moment for human umpires.
It was a bad moment to an awesome night. Right. Like, just there was so much excitement going into the game. And then as the game progressed, with each passing inning, the USA trying to hold on to that 1-run lead, the tension kept getting greater and greater. And I said, going to that bottom of the 9th inning, I said, the hardest 3 outs this Team USA got all night is about to be right now. And that proved to be the case. But that's what made it great. That's what made it such great theater. And now you look forward to the next game, even tonight. Like, Team USA is not involved, obviously, but look how Italy has played up to this point. They beat Team USA in the pool. So you want to have all this energy going up to the championship, and I feel like we're going to have it. And also, here's the thing too, Gary, as it relates to baseball that makes it better than I think our usual MLB product. It's a 1-game tournament.
Yeah.
Right? Where you get to the playoffs, you got 7 games. It's like, but when we get to a game set, why is Game 7 great? Because it's win or go home. Yeah. And every game, once you get to tournament play in the World Baseball Classic, is win or go home, and that just adds to it.
And baseball is a unique sport in the sense that if you were way better than somebody else in football, you're almost certainly going to win that football game. But in baseball, I mean, the Rockies can beat the Dodgers. They don't do it often, but they can do it. And so it leaves everything up in the air a little bit.
If you got the right pitcher lined up to go for you that night,
right,
and your hitters may be on a hot streak, then, yeah, you can beat anybody in 1 game.
All right, let's get back to college basketball. I was watching you over the weekend after Jaden Bradley hit the buzzer beater in the Big 12 tournament semifinals. You talked to him. I mean, I know that's probably not going to be remembered the way Kimba's shot in the Big East tournament is remembered, unless it's backed by an incredible run to a national championship.
Right. True.
But man, in the moment, it felt like one of those. That was some kind of shot. He was going to take it. He pretty clear he was going to bounce it till he shot it, and he made it. Man, that was a great college basketball moment.
It was, and it was just one of those moments that make us love March so great. And like when we talk about March Madness, usually we think about the NCAA tournament, but to me it always starts in the conference tournaments, right? Because you have the teams that have to win that tournament to get into the NCAA tournament to begin with, or you have teams like Arizona that are trying to show you that we are one of the best teams in the country and winning this tournament matters to us. And you have great moments like that happen as well. And for me, like, you know, I'm not invested in the outcome of the game. I thought it was phenomenal theater. And then he came on with the Sports Center and he was great in the interview. But it is those moments, Gary, that make us love this sport so much because of the do or die scenario. Like Arizona, if they're going to be one of the best teams in the country, they got to get to the championship of the Big 12, right? Well, they can't lose this game, so they got to get there. And for him to hit that shot in that moment is just spectacular theater.
It was awesome. Last thing before I get you out of here, talk to me about your Kentucky Wildcats. I haven't looked at every bracket in the world, but I've looked at some, and a lot of people are picking Santa Clara in the what would be a slight upset. I know it's a big brand against a third-place team from the West Coast Conference, but the point spread on this isn't big. How you feeling headed into things?
I have zero expectations.
I know. I knew you were going to say that.
I'm not doing it to myself, Gary. Like, I am hopeful. I am very hopeful that Kentucky will win this game. But if they do not, I will not be stunned. And it's not so much about Kentucky. Santa Clara is a good team. Yeah. And for their seeding, that's a rough matchup no matter who they would have played, whether it's Kentucky or anybody else. But I have to be a realist as well as a practicing journalist sometimes. This is not the best Kentucky team that they could have put on the floor this year. right? Injuries they're just a fact. Right. So this is not the best team that Mark Pope expected to have when he got to this point. So thus my expectations are very low. I hope they win, and then whatever happens after that would be great. But I will say this, as a Kentucky fan, it's a bummer that this team, even if Kentucky wins the first game, I don't think they win the second game, that we have not been past the Sweet 16 since before COVID. Okay? That's Kentucky, dog.
Right.
That don't happen to us, and we are not doing well with it, Gary. I will admit that fully. Speaking for the entire Big Blue Nation, we are not doing well with the fact that we are not looking about our road to the Final Four. We're looking about, can we get past the first round? That is not in our DNA.
Meantime, John Calipari, your former coach, was cutting nets yesterday in Nashville. I know sometimes when things like this happen, it's very easy to tweet, man, and Arkansas and John Calipari are doing better than Mark Pope in Kentucky, even though Kentucky nudged him out the door. But that almost feels like revisionist history to me. Like if you go back to that moment, it felt like it was time for a divorce, almost regardless of what happened with John or with Kentucky going forward. It felt like it was just time to split up. Is that the way you remember? Is that the way you felt?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And here's the thing. We all felt that way in the moment. The only thing that made it worse is that he was going to stay, and then all of a sudden he decided to leave because Arkansas gave him the money that he couldn't get, that Kentucky wouldn't give him on the contract. So it just felt icky when he left. But at the time, he's like, yeah, it's probably time for him to go, right? And the thing is, what makes it worse for Kentucky fans right now to watch him have this success is that he's doing it with the guy that's going to be maybe a top 5 or at least top 10 draft pick in Darius Acuff, right? Because those are the guys that he brought to Kentucky. Right, all those guards are in the league. They've won MVPs. They won championships. Kentucky doesn't have any player like Darius Acuff. They have any player coming in next season like Acuff, and that just makes it harder to accept his success somewhere else because you think, wow, if he was still at Kentucky, Acuff would be at Kentucky. And we don't have an Acuff, and we don't see one coming in right now. And that does not give us as much hope for the future because we're not getting the best players in the country.
Well, here in Memphis, we're hoping the Grizzlies have an Acuff next season. We would take it.
Oh, that'd be a tremendous add to the Grizzlies, 100%.
I would take it right now. Micheal Eaves, you're the best. I appreciate you, buddy. If you're not following him on X, make sure you're doing it at Micheal Eaves. That's at Micheal Eaves. Thank you, brother. I'll see you next Monday.
All right, man. Be good.
Bye-bye. Micheal Eaves from ESPN. When we come back, we'll continue the NCAA tournament conversation. The 4 number 1 seeds were as expected. Honestly, the 37 at-larges were as expected. The committee did a good job with this. Miami, Ohio in, Auburn out. SEC still gets a conference best 10 teams in the tournament. We'll talk through the bracket next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Each challenge is unique, so each game plan is customized to identify opportunity and the path to victory. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle with personalized planning and advice. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by May 30th, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Fridays at FedEx Forum just got a whole lot more fun for the family. With the Family Friday ticket offer, a $35 game ticket gets you a $10 food voucher and access to pregame shoot-around. Additionally, for every 4 tickets purchased, you get an autographed item from the Grizzlies Vault. Capture moments that last a lifetime for birthdays, youth groups, and other family-friendly celebrations. Visit grizzlies.com/Friday to grab your tickets today.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, unscheduled. Ortho-South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho-South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and Ortho-South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's Ortho-South at orthosouth.org. Bennett, I saw the flags waving out there in front of FedEx Forum. The wind looked like it was blowing. You guys got some wind down there?
Bro, we had snow flurries as I was driving in this morning.
No flurries?
I saw snow flurries coming into work this morning. How about that?
Snow flurries?
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to come home today. My plan was to come home today. And, that got screwed up. I was booked. I was canceled and then rebooked. Canceled and then rebooked. Canceled and then rebooked. The latest flight was departing New York City. It's funny. I guess it's just some system that does this. But I got to be back in studio on Wednesday night. So I was going to come home today, do the show in studio tomorrow, and then fly back to New York City tomorrow afternoon. I was going to be in Memphis less than 24 hours. But I was going to sleep in my own bed and do the show from the Built Ford Tough studio. And booked and canceled, rebooked, canceled, rebooked, canceled, rebooked. The last flight they put me on was because you could not get out of New York City today. 8:45 a.m. Tuesday morning. I land in Memphis, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, and then depart back to New York at 5 o'clock. And I was like, I called Delta late last night, and I said, I don't know if you guys looked at it, but that ain't going to make much sense to me. That would really just be me flying home and then turning right around and getting right back on a plane. And it's like 45 minutes later and flying right back. And I don't need the miles that bad. So I just think I'm just going to stay here in New York. So that's why I'm here in New York. We got bad weather. Not yet, but it's coming. It's supposed to get really bad thunderstorms later today. And you guys have wind and snow flurries. And I gather tornado warnings all night last night.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that in a little bit because I was a little perturbed last night. But we'll talk about that. Okay.
Hey, we'll get there. I think if I'm assuming correctly, we'll get there in story number 5.
Correct.
But right now, let's start with number 1. 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
The NCAA Tournament bracket is set.
Yes.
Man, Bennett, you ain't going to believe it. They put 68 teams in it.
That's how it usually goes, right?
It's been that way. Been that way for a little while.
Solid system, yep.
Solid system. 68 teams in it, 37 at-larges. The 4 number 1 seeds were Duke, Arizona, Michigan, Florida, in that order. Everybody with a brain predicted exactly that order. The truth is Duke, Arizona, Michigan has separated from the rest of the pack probably more than a week ago. So it was been clear for a while those were going to be 3 number 1 seeds. We were only playing for the 4th. And once Florida, UConn, and Houston all lost in their conference tournaments, just sort of defaulted back to who was the 4th number 1 before the conference tournaments even started. And that was Florida, a team that, after starting 5-4, went on a crazy run and is the outright SEC champion. Even though they didn't win the SEC tournament in Nashville, they were the outright champs of what the net, which is what the NCAA uses, describes as the best conference in the country. They were clearly going to be the 4th number 1. They were given that. And in terms of Duke, Arizona, Michigan, it's interesting because Like, there's no debate anywhere about them. The humans believe that they should be 1, 2, 3. At KenPom, they're 1, 2, 3. In the net, they're 1, 2, 3. At Bart Torvik, they're 1, 2, 3. At evanmia.com, they're 1, 2, 3. In adjusted defensive efficiency, they're 1, 2, 3. So the truth is, in college basketball, the cliche that applies is offense wins championships, not defense. That's what history tells you. Offense wins championships, not defense. But in this season, the 3 best teams in the country happen to also be the 3 best defensive teams in the country. They're also excellent offensively, but they are quite literally 1, 2, 3 best defensive teams in the country. Perhaps this is a season where defense wins championships. The 37 at-larges, most people had them that way. Like, I didn't tweet out a projected bracket because I was doing 50 other things, but hand to heart, you could tell just by the way I talked about this on the Ion College Basketball podcast over the past week. Those would have been my 37 at-larges. I would have gone 68 for 68. I would have missed on some seeding stuff like everybody does, but the overwhelming majority, maybe not overwhelming majority, but this is true, the majority of projected brackets out there on the internet got 68 of 68. This process that the selection committee uses is so transparent. They literally fly people to Indianapolis to sit in on mock sessions so that you understand how it's done, why decisions are made, what matters, what doesn't. And I've said this for a long time. Joe Lunardi's great. Jerry Palm was great. Mackenzie Brooks, who is our new de facto bracketologist, she's wonderful. But you don't have to have a basketball background or even a knowledge of, like, basketball at all to learn how to be a bracketologist. Like, I could teach that to anybody because the selection committee has made it clear. This is how we do it. This is the process. This is what matters. This is what doesn't matter. And once you know exactly what they're looking at and why they're looking at it, then you can reasonably reach the same conclusions that they're going to reach. And so I don't know whether they're copying now the mock brackets or whether the mock brackets just have an incredible understanding of what's happening in the real room. But most people got 68 of 68, all 37 at-larges the right way, all 4 number 1 seeds the right way. The big story heading in, I guess, was will Miami, Ohio get an at-large bid? I told you last week 100% they would, and they did. But they did get sent to Dayton to play in the first 4. Bennett, I know you don't care that deeply. I know you're not emotionally invested in the Red Hawks, but do you have any problem with them getting sent to the first 4 as a 1-loss team?
Not really, because I just thought, like, you're having to find a way to justify getting 2 teams in from that league that's not a great league, right? And so you got to figure out how you're going to go about doing that. When they lost their conference tournament, like, it just – I thought it was probably going to go that way. Like, they had to be in. You cannot leave them out because it's too good of a story. And, like, the eye test just tells you that's a good team. They went undefeated through most of the season. But you got to figure out a way to kind of toggle with these 2 different things. But I'm glad, I think we've accepted. Me and you have talked about the first 4 over the years. I think we've come to accept that the first 4 is it's a part of this. It's a part of this, right? Have we come around on the first 4?
I think for the most part people have, and I think the way you put it is exactly right. The easy way to go viral about Miami, Ohio, oh, buddy, I've watched people do it. The easy way to go viral with Miami, Ohio is to just do one of these 2 things. Either one. You could do either one. I could sit here and go, it's crazy that they're in. They're 39 spots lower at KenPom than any other at-large team. Why is this team in this field? They have 0 quad 1 wins. They basically got nothing in terms of signature victories. Strength of schedule stinks. If you changed their name, put them in another conference, and said this is their resume, you wouldn't put them in the tournament. Why is this team in the tournament? You can go viral with that. Let me be clear. Chloe, anybody else, don't clip this. I'm not trying to do this. I'm just making a point. Or if you don't want to do that, you could do this. Why are they in Dayton? This team went undefeated in the regular season. It's the best story in college basketball. And because they slipped up and lost 1 quad 3 game, you're going to make them barely get in the tournament and put them in Dayton? I mean, you mean to go through all the power conference teams that aren't in Dayton that took quad 3 losses? Teams that are ranked in the top 20? Like UConn. UConn's a 2 seed. They took a quad 3 loss. I'm not trying to tell you UConn doesn't deserve to be a 2 seed. I'm trying to prove to you anybody, even UConn and Dan Hurley, the self-proclaimed best coach in college basketball. Even that guy could take a quad 3 loss. So what's so wrong about Miami, Ohio? Taking one loss, one quad 3 loss, and you're going to push them all the way to Dayton. That's wrong. Should never do that. This is the problem with the sport. You could do that. Go viral. Either one of them. Pick. They're both easy. Here's the truth. I completely get what they did, and I thought they explained it well. We had Martin Newton, the co-chair, who will be the main chair for the selection committee next season, on CBS Sports Network last night. And I and a couple others conducted a joint interview with him. And the point he made is that Miami, Ohio was not the last team in the field. They were safely in the field. There were 3 teams below them in terms of placing at-large teams in the field. But the way that the bracketing principles now work is that once you get the field set, like these are our 37 at-larges. Once you have the teams that are like, think of this as a club, all right? Hey, we're only letting 68 people in this club. 37 at-larges, that's all with the room we got. Once you get all those people in the club and you close the door, what they then do is take another look at it. And they go, okay, these are the people we want in the club or in the bracket in our tournament. But now let's look at it because we want to seed these teams in a way that more properly correlates with what the predictive metrics say. So what they had learned in years past is that, every amateur bracketologist in the world with a KenPom subscription will watch you seed teams based on their results. And it doesn't align properly with their predictive metrics like KenPom. And then you get a situation where you've got a 6 seed playing an 11 seed, but that 11 seed is actually 13th at KenPom and now a favorite in the betting markets, like a 2-point favorite over the 6 seed. And everybody screams, how could you make that team an 11 seed? They're 13th at KenPom. So what the committee now does is rely more heavily on the predictive metrics like KenPom to seed the bracket, not to make the bracket. So if I'm not clear, here's what I'm trying to say. They make the bracket, put teams in the club based off of results-oriented metrics and results-based decision-making. This is who you played, this is who you beat, this is who you lost to, these are places they happened. But once you're in the door and the door's locked, hey, this is the 68 people we got in here, then they take a closer look and they start using the predictive metrics to try to seed it in a way that correlates more with the numbers next to the names. And so as Martin Newton explained, and Keith Gill, the chair, did so as well in CBS, once they had the 68 teams in the tournament, then they start scrubbing it again. And when you start looking at the at-larges, it is undeniable that in the predictive metrics, not only is Miami, Ohio behind every other at-large team, it's like nearly 40 spots at KenPom behind every other at-large team, behind the worst other at-large team. I think as of last night, the second worst at-large team was Central Florida, our old buddies UCF. They're doing all right since they left us. I get a little jealous sometimes. You look up and they're hosting Kansas and we're hosting East Carolina. They're in the NCAA tournament and we're not. Get jealous sometimes.
As do I.
But anyway, I know you do. Anyway, they're wherever they are in KenPom, and then you get to the last at-large team in the field, and it's like Miami, Ohio, 39 spots lower. So you go to KenPom, the at-large teams are like boom, 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 right next to each other. 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 19, 21. And then you get to Central Florida, 40-place gap. Next one's Miami, Ohio. So once you acknowledge this is the way we do it, we put teams in the field based on what they've done. Then we seed them based on what the predictive metrics suggest. This is exactly what they should have done with Miami, Ohio. Make sure they're in the field as a one-loss team, as an undefeated regular season team, but then seed them based on the predictive metrics, which suggests they would be a significant underdog to any at-large team in the bracket. And if you would be a significant underdog to any at-large team in the bracket, they're like a 7-point underdog to SMU. Once we acknowledge you would be a significant underdog to any at-large team in the bracket, which is the stuff Bruce Pearl and Stephen Pearl have been yelling about for a while, once we acknowledge that point is true, then they should probably be in the first 4 in Dayton and have to win their way into the main bracket. I got no problem with it. I know this isn't the way to get all the attention, but I think the committee handled that and most things pretty well. The one complaint a lot of people have is Vanderbilt as a 5 after it went to the championship game of the SEC tournament. I would have had Vanderbilt a 4. Some people would have had a 3. I don't think it's crazy that they're a 5, but I do think it's wrong. It's hard to find numbers in any computer, results-oriented metrics, predictive metrics that suggest Vanderbilt should have been a 5, but that's where they are. The other one, and then I'll get your thoughts. St. John's also a 5 after winning the Big East tournament, outright Big East champs, 19-1 in their last 20. With 2 wins over UConn, 2 wins over Villanova. I think that's low. Like, I wouldn't want to be Duke. I mean, I wouldn't mind being Duke.
Yeah.
You have Cameron Boozer. That's a good place to start. But you could be running into a St. John's team in the Sweet 16 that is 19-1 in its past 20.
Yeah,
and coached by,
that's early.
Coached by arguably the greatest coach of all time. And you're shorthanded without Caleb Foster, and your big has not played in a while. That's a rough, possible Sweet 16 matchup for Duke. What did you think when you saw the bracket last night?
You know, honestly, the biggest thing that stood out to me, and I mean, there's clearly we're in a bigger gap than ever that we've talked about a lot in college basketball, but you're always looking for like the first round upsets when you're finishing your bracket. And it is really hard to find any, in my opinion, just because of like a lot of the teams that punch their tickets by winning the conference tournaments, like a lot of them weren't necessarily the favorites to win their conference tournament. Like, just one off the top of my head, Penn won the Ivy League over Yale. And Yale's like a team that's made, remember they beat Auburn, I believe, like a few years back. And so they've been a team that's kind of made some noise. And so you could talk yourself into that because they're playing the 3-seed Illinois, Penn is. But they didn't. And so it's Penn, and you're like, the Kentucky Santa Clara, the 10-7 one that you and Micheal talked about, like that's the only one that really stands out. Of these like double-digit seeds, I just don't see any of them getting an upset in round 1. I know it'll probably happen because it tends to always happen. Right. I'm just not seeing it this year.
Filling out a bracket is difficult for me. It's wild because I'm doing a thing on Wednesday for some company where I'm like, my job is to tell people how to fill out a bracket. And the truth is I'm just not good at it. And the reason is because you watch this stuff every day for 4 plus months, 19 weeks. I think that's where we're at. If you include the entire regular season and conference tournaments, it's 19 weeks of basketball. So you watch it every day for 19 weeks. And then you get a bracket. And it becomes very difficult to go, well, of course Cal Baptist is going to have a shot against Kansas. You're like, why would Cal Baptist have a shot against Kansas? Kansas has Bill Self and Darren Peterson and Melvin Council and Flory Badunga. And Cal Baptist has nobody, like nobody knows who Cal Baptist has. So like, what are we doing? But then like the tournament starts and you look up and Cal Baptist has got a 4-point lead with 7 minutes to go. I can never tell you where this stuff's going to happen or when. I can just promise you it will, because it always does. I do think it will become and is becoming less likely than it used to be because the talent is consolidating at the top of the sport. There's fewer good players, established good players at the mid-major and low-major level, because if you have one good season at the low-major or mid-major level, you are bought up by the high majors just like that. I made this point before. I don't know that it's entirely true because of Steph's family situation. In other words, his father was a former NBA player, so they didn't need the money necessarily. But the equivalent of Steph Curry going to Davidson, after that first season at Davidson where he averaged a bunch of points, he would have transferred to North Carolina or Duke or to his father's alma mater, Virginia Tech, for like $2 million. If that was a story today, that's how that would have unfolded. He'd have never been back for another year to take Davidson to the Elite Eight. So those types of stories are going to be harder to come by because those types of players, they don't stay at the mid-major level more than a year. If you show yourself to be that kind of player, the high majors are offering you hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, to transfer. So we're going to get less of that than ever, but we're still going to get it in places. It just happens. You couldn't imagine St. Peters upsetting Kentucky.
Right.
Or Jack Golke in Oakland knocking down all those threes and more or less ending John Calipari's career at Kentucky. Nobody saw that coming before it happened, but it happened. We get bad Super Bowls. We get bad World Series. We get bad college football national championship games. You can get a lopsided and boring NBA finals. The NCAA tournament delivers every year. I'm not trying to tell you college basketball is the best sport that's ever existed. It has its flaws, but this tournament always delivers. So I don't know where the upsets are coming. I agree they can be hard to identify, but they're out there. They'll be there. And the place people typically look, if you're trying to get seed upsets, but in places where they normally happen, obviously everybody always looks at the 5-12 games, the 6-11 games. And history suggests those are there almost every year. With the 6-11s this season, it's kind of interesting because if you look at 2 of the 6 seeds, they're like missing key players. North Carolina's a 6 seed playing VCU. Caleb Wilson, North Carolina's best player, projected top 10 pick. He's done for the season. BYU is a 6 seed opening against the winner of Texas NC State. Richie Saunders, one of their top 3 players, done for the season, torn ACL. BYU still has AJ DeBonsa, but they're not the same team without Richie Saunders. Louisville is also a 6 seed. Michael Brown Jr. is expected to play in the NCAA tournament against South Florida in the round of 64. That's your AAC tournament champs. But he did not play in the ACC tournament, so his availability at least is up in the air to some regard. Tennessee's the other 6 seed. And that's the only one of the group that's not missing a key player, or at least hasn't been missing a key player. So if you're looking for a place to pick the upsets, 6-11s is probably a decent place to look. And that Santa Clara, Kentucky game, yeah, that's a place a lot of people are going to pick an upset because it sounds like it should be lopsided based on brands, based on one team spent more than $20 million on its roster, the other team a fraction of that. But Santa Clara won 26 games this season, beat St. Mary's in the WCC tournament. Santa Clara is coached by Herb Sendek, who's maybe not the most exciting basketball coach in the history of the world, but he's really good at his job. It's only like a 2-point game projected at KenPom between Kentucky and Santa Clara. So if you were looking for another upset where a mid-major brand upsets arguably the biggest brand in the sport, Kentucky, Santa Clara, it looks that way, but it probably, at least definitely, if it's an upset, it won't be that big of an upset, and I would assume not even the biggest upset of the round of 64.
Number 2.
Your Memphis Grizzlies will return to the court tonight in Chicago. Grizz Bulls in the United Center. Franchise's first game since they lost to the Pistons to extend that losing streak to 7. Big Bet Bennett, fire me up. Fire me up.
Okay.
I said fire me up, and you said, okay.
I wasn't expecting that.
I want to get fired up. I got a night off in New York City tonight, man. I want to get fired up. Fire me up.
Okay. Javon Small's been playing well.
Man, you ain't got to tell me.
Javon Small's been playing well. I mean, again, hey, second round find.
Man,
just another one.
Yeah. Hey, we need like a top 5 find.
We do need that. Yes, that is absolutely critical. That is absolutely critical. I watched the Pistons game. Okay, that is absolutely critical.
Turns out, hitting on all your second round picks is cool, but you know what's really cool?
Hitting in that top 5.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's that would be ideal. That would for sure be ideal. No, listen, it's been rough. They obviously are getting out rebounded in all these games, which is going to happen when you don't really have a true big out there.
Yeah, you got to have tall people in basketball. This was discovered a long time ago. This is nothing new. I know the sport has changed a lot, but one thing that has been consistently true outside of a little championship window with Draymond and the Warriors, you need tall people, man.
You need tall people.
It just gets real hard with tall people. It'd be like, we were talking about the World Baseball Classic earlier. Imagine trying to play baseball with people who can't throw hard.
Right.
It's like, man, in baseball, if there's one thing I know, you need somebody who can throw a ball fast. And in basketball, if there's anything I know, You tend to need some tall people, and we're just running short on them right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Pistons game just wasn't close. Like, we knew coming in, like, that's one of the best front courts in the league, and it wasn't really close.
What are you going to
do? They're one of the best teams in the league as well, so that's always going to be an issue. If you were hoping to get, like, help in the big department, you're not, at least from Santi Aldama. He is set to get a procedure done, and so he'll likely be done the rest of this season, I would assume.
You want to try to tell folks what he's going to have done to him?
Yeah, I can tell you right now. This was announced last night. Memphis Grizzlies forward Santi Aldama will undergo an arthroscopic procedure and receive an orthobiologic injection to address ongoing discomfort in the trochlear compartment of his right knee. He is expected to make a full recovery, and a timeline will be provided following the procedure. I think I did that okay. That was okay.
Orthobiologic injection. That's a new one on me. You think that's a GLP or something?
I couldn't begin to know. I couldn't begin to know. But that's, hey, at least he ain't getting surgery, it sounds like. I mean,
you know what this sounds like to me?
This is an injection. It sounds like an injection. That doesn't sound like...
He had to get an injection. Hey, raise your hand if you've never had to get an injection. All right? You've never got injected? You've never been injected?
Oh, I thought you said you have gotten injected. Yes, I have been injected, yes.
Of course. Okay.
Contrary to popular belief, yes, I've been injected, yes.
You're not anti-injection?
I'm not anti. No, I'm not anti.
You haven't done your own research on these injections?
I mean, sure, I've done my own research.
Of course you have. I knew you had.
I'm trying to be a good citizen.
I know you do. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So Santi's got to get an injection. It's the type of injection I never heard of before. But I hope it works, you know?
Yeah, I do too. I
hope he has a successful injection. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but you know, my job title, sometimes I'm introduced this way. College basketball expert Gary Parrish. Sometimes people say that about me, right? I don't even know that that's true, except that I know it's true that people do say that sometimes. And so one of the things I'm trying to tell you for a little while now, it's day 16 of March. It's hard to go on the road in March and win basketball games, Bennett.
Yes. Especially Chicago the Monday before St. Patrick's Day. It's going to be lit in that building.
It's going to be litty.
Yeah, dude. That crowd's going to be wild.
Crowd's going to be wild, all right? They planning on watching a Bulls victory and then hitting that Green River.
Yes.
Right? And you know, just a few nights ago, you're in Detroit. That's one of the great young teams in the world. And you got to go on the road and try to win in March. Have you ever seen, you ever watch the Big Ten?
Yeah, I have. And that's that same region.
It's like this. Yeah. So imagine you got to go into Purdue and win on the road in March, right? You got to go to Michigan and win on the road in March. You got to go to Chicago and win on the road in March. Detroit and win on the road in March. All of these things can prove difficult.
Yes.
March basketball is a different deal. All right? It's a different deal. Everybody knows that.
Yep. One thing, there's a mini stake on the line tonight. If you're looking at these, how do we do this again? Like we're
moving forward.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking at the race to the bottom, this was kind of one of the teams that you're jumbled up with. They get a win tonight, and then I believe you play them next week, or you play them in the next 10 days again here at FedEx Forum. You got a pretty good opportunity for Chicago to remain ahead of you in the standings.
I think everybody knows what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I think everybody understands the assignment.
I'm just saying. That's what you're into. I'm just saying, that's big opportunity tonight.
It's a big opportunity tonight to prove. It's a big opportunity tonight to prove if you really like that or not.
Yeah, they're 27-40. You're 23-43. So,
Darius Acuff Jr. is your SEC Player of the Year and your SEC Tournament MVP. Cameron Boozer is the best player on the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA Tournament. A.J. DeBonsa just led the nation in scoring, even though he played in the in the Big 12. Darren Peterson says he doesn't really cramp anymore. I think we understand what needs to be done.
Okay.
I think everybody understands what needs to be done.
Okay. It does sound like Cedric Howard's going to play tonight, so you get to see him. That'd be good.
Man, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. 7 o'clock tonight, Grizzlies Bulls. Chicago is listed as a 5.5-point favorite.
Number 3.
It appears NBA expansion's coming. Are you ready for NBA expansion?
More than ever.
Man, Las Vegas and Seattle, congrats to them. That's the report this morning. Sounds like we're headed that direction. It'll be a few years off, but the byproduct of that, Bennett, here's the subhead.
Yep.
Your Memphis Grizzlies could be moving to the Eastern Conference. How you feel about being possibly in the Eastern Conference?
Pretty good. I mean, I saw Shams put it out. First off, I don't think all this reporting gets put out if we are not heading in this direction, correct? Like, it sounds like this is going to happen.
I think that's correct.
Yeah. And the other thing to that, he said that that the sources say to him that either the Grizzlies or the Timberwolves would move east. Obviously, we're closer east. Just if you're looking at the U.S. map.
Hey, Bennett, I don't have to tell you. Look, turn around.
That's right. Well, I literally did.
Just turn around.
I did. Jacob, can you get that right there? I did right before the show. And just to make sure, you know, we had issues before. That's why we have the map here now. That's why the map has been put up here.
It's not a loss. It's a lesson.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Not a loss. It's a lesson.
The problem is, there we go. It's a beautiful map. It's like a grade school map.
Yeah, but we had to start. That's where we needed to start.
There we are.
I thought that's where we needed to start. I didn't want to start with a too sophisticated map. I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to work on our state capitals. Look at that. There's Jackson, Mississippi.
Exactly. The problem is even though we are closer east, technically, Minnesota, when you get up north where they are, their travel probably makes a little more sense.
I hear what you're saying.
In the Eastern Conference.
I think, let me try to frame this. I think what you're saying is if you look at the map of the United States, you can accurately argue Memphis is more east than Minneapolis.
Yes.
But when you get up there to Minneapolis and you start going, okay, but who's actually closer to the Eastern Conference cities that you will be traveling to?
All of them. They're all close.
They're all close to all of them, and we're not. We're way down here.
Yeah. So that could be an issue.
Well, you know what? I don't think I know the East is weaker than the West right now, but like that could all just change just as soon as Wemby becomes a free agent or A.J. DeBonsa gets drafted by the Pacers, right? I mean, like that could,
I don't know,
always,
man. I feel like we've been saying that the West is better than the East for like decades now.
Maybe the problem is just the West has Sam Presti, and the West has the Spurs, and so the West is always going to be better than the East as long as Sam Presti and the Spurs exist. Maybe that's what we're doing.
Maybe that's true. I do live for a day when we can say that the East was better but it doesn't feel like it's anytime soon. But there's your NBA headline from this morning. NBA expansion appears on the way. Seattle and Las Vegas appear to be the destinations, and those franchises, the bidding is expected to be anywhere between $7 and $10 billion. By the way, if you ever want to know why Robert Parrish isn't interested in selling the Memphis Grizzlies, it's because that's what NBA franchises go for now. Yeah.
Perhaps more in Las Vegas than in Memphis, I acknowledge, but these things are valuable.
Yeah,
and if I had one, I'd probably try to hold on to it too.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Charles Barkley did it again.
What happened?
He's got everybody hating him again.
Oh, no. Did he talk about San Antonio?
No, this time it was the Lakers. And we're getting into, it's interesting watching this. I guess this is the way it happens. I guess this is the die a hero or live long enough to become a villain type of thing, right? Because there's Charles Barkley. Everybody loves him. There's Inside the NBA on TNT. Everybody loves it. And now, you know what's happening? Everybody hates it. Everybody hates it. Everybody hates Charles Barkley. And they're more or less still doing the same thing they've always done. We've just decided we're tired of it. We'd rather watch John Wall randomly name random NBA players off of benches to prove how knowledgeable he is, which is important. NBA fans have gotten to a point where we'd rather watch that. And Blake Griffin and a fresh group of faces and voices. We'd rather watch them talk about the sport because they seem to genuinely enjoy it, as opposed to Charles and Kenny and Shaq constantly, especially with Shaq and Charles, just shitting on the product. So Charles with this one, they're getting ready on ESPN to do a Lakers game or ABC or wherever, and the Lakers are 17 games above 500 and third in the West. Maybe they're not going to win a championship because they don't, even though they're guarding better, they still don't guard. But they're still 17 games above 500 with Luka and LeBron on the roster. We should all be so lucky. And so it's you come on TV and tonight it's the Lakers and the thing and right here and don't change the channel, it's the best. And Charles Barkley's the last thing I want to hear is anybody try to tell me the Lakers are contenders. They stink. And it's just, and people are why is he just crap? You have the NBA's all-time leading scorer. This is you're on television and your network's about to show this product. You have the biggest franchise in the NBA's all-time scoring leader, one of the great in his 20s stars in the sport, and the people who are getting you ready for the game are just shitting on it. Why? I am never misguided. I know that the shows we do don't matter the way that show does. To the extent I'm talking, it is often, in advance of a VCU George Mason game as opposed to the Lakers and the Nuggets or whatever. I got it. But we just would not do that. Imagine all right, guys, welcome into our New York studios. I'm Brent Stover. This is Gary Parrish, Roy Hibbert, Wally Zerbiak, getting ready for VCU George Mason. GP, what do you think about VCU? They're 17 games above 500, sitting, as a projected 9 seed in the NCAA tournament. Don't start talking to me about VCU is going to do anything in March. Jesus Christ, they stink. Are you kidding me? That team ain't going nowhere. I don't care what. We just would not do that. And you don't see that anywhere else. And yet, that is what that show has become. And perhaps it's always been that, and people used to laugh at it. But people aren't laughing at it as much as they used to. And it doesn't help them when they sort of take pride in, not knowing anything. Part of their show is Shaq doesn't know any players. They're let's see if Shaq can name random players. And he's I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. And everybody laughs. And then part of it is they'll have they'll bring the Jalen Johnson on from the Hawks. And one of them will say out loud, man, we don't watch y'all because y'all are the Hawks, but I guess you're having a good season. They take real, part of the bit is we don't really even know anything about the new NBA. And then you got on another channel, John Wall knows everything about the new NBA. And Blake Griffin is talking about it in an intelligent way. And Carmelo Anthony is engaged. And the contrast it's pretty hard to miss right now. And I think it's hurting that show. And if they were going to pivot, they haven't done it yet because here we are again. Charles Barkley, who's kind of the face of that thing, being criticized only in NBA circles. They're not talking about this at the coffee shop down the street in any sort of meaningful way. But NBA circles, people are why does the NBA want these people? These are the most high-profile people delivering their product to the masses. And they just shit on it and then say, here you go. It'd be you order something from Amazon, and Amazon's okay, we'll be there in 30 minutes with what you are excited about. But we're going to spend the next 30 minutes talking to you about why you shouldn't be and why it sucks. And then we'll hand it to you. That's what they do every night. It's wild. But, they all get good contracts, so perhaps I could learn something from them. I don't know.
Number 5.
The 98th Academy Awards were held last night in Los Angeles. Conan O'Brien hosted. Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor. One battle after another secured 6 trophies. I hated that the Oscars were on Selection Sunday. They're not always, because I typically watch the Oscars.
They're usually earlier, and I think it'll change back. I don't remember why it was for some reason a little bit later this year, but I believe it'll not be this way next year.
I hope. I hated it. I didn't watch a second of it. I love the Oscars. I love live award shows. I watched one battle after another. I watched Sinners. I watched Marty Supreme. I didn't see all of the nominees. I failed again. I told you I wouldn't, but I did, Bennett. I did not meet my obligations. I rented Begonia You know Begonia?
Mm-hmm.
I rented it 3 different times, and it expired every time before I got to it.
It's free on Peacock, man.
But here's the problem. You can't download. At least my Peacock doesn't download.
You can't download. I know.
I don't know if other people's Peacock
Trust
downloads.
me, I know. No, they don't.
Okay, my Peacock does not download, and my plan was to watch it on a plane. So I downloaded it, Apple, like $5.99. Like, no big deal. I'm not complaining. But like $5.99, and then they say, GP, you got 30 days to watch this. I'm like, okay, I'll get to it. And it expired. I think I started it one time, got 6 minutes in, had to stop, and then after you start it, you get 48 hours, and then I didn't get back to it in 48 hours. Rented it again, same thing might have happened. Rented it again, it just expired. I've still never seen Begonia, but I spent whatever $5.99 times 3 is. I've done that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get to watch much of it either. In fact, I only watched about an hour of it because I was busy watching ABC 24 cover thunderstorms in Corinth, Mississippi for the first 2 hours of the broadcast.
Man, people hate that, don't they?
Bro, I thought JB was very kind on her show when talking about this earlier.
Let me stop you for 1 second and ask you a question from an honest place. I don't know the answer.
Yes.
If I knew we were going to do this conversation exactly, I would have looked it up. Are the local stations obligated?
Yes.
Yes, what I thought. Like, it's not even one of those things like somebody is saying, hey, guys, I think we should show storm coverage in Corinth instead of the Academy Awards. On some level, are they obligated to do what they're doing?
Okay, here's the problem with that. All right, it's 2026, okay?
I agree. It's 2026.
We have advanced a long way in media, and there should be a way for ABC 24 to give people the coverage that they need for these storms, even though we got plenty of options, and still be able to show this broadcast in some form. Instead, we didn't get anything. Like, they tried for a second to put a little box that you couldn't see at all at the bottom of the screen, and then they even took that away for some reason. Like, they just left it up there for a second and then took it away. Dude, they have multiple channels. Like, you can't say, hey, we know everyone's like wanting to watch the Oscars right now. We're going to put the Oscars on. I think they own CW30 as well. We're going to put the Oscars on CW. Or how about this? Our news coverage is going to be on CW30 because, yes, they're required to provide that public service. The FCC requires it, but you have multiple channels that you could probably do that through that are also free to the people that are going to be using that for your weather service. It's just hard for me to buy that. It's just is what it is. I'm so sorry. Like, you can't. Could you imagine if the Grizzlies were playing in a road playoff game on ABC and that happened last night and everyone missed the whole thing? Like,
is there a workaround? Like, can you go stream it abc.com or something? No, is there a way to get around it?
So I thought, like a lot of people thought, that, okay, this is a ABC broadcast. That's what channel the Oscars are on. So maybe I can go to Disney Plus or Hulu and watch like a national feed of the Oscars where, you type in your cable package information or internet information, whatever, and you're able to watch it. It sends you directly to the live stream of the ABC 24 feed. And so you're getting the same thing that you're getting on your TV. So you can't watch it. I missed the whole show, dude. It's just, again, I can understand, like, this is the rules and we have to stick by the rules. I'm saying you could have known, you knew the storms were coming and you got to figure out some kind of workaround. Plus I've never heard of the FCC coming after anybody for something like that. Like, you could have done a half screen, a split screen, something. It was just brutal, dude.
Okay. I'm not going to say what you could have done because I genuinely don't know what you could have done. And I get frustrated when I see people tweeting at me about stuff they clearly don't know enough about. It's usually people tweeting to me about Penny Hardaway. But I get frustrated when I see people tweet at me things they don't know anything about, because if I took the time to respond, that's what I would say. I would say if you knew what you were talking about, you would understand better why this has to go the way it goes. But you don't know what you're talking about, and that's why you're confused. So I don't want to be one of those people. So I'm not going to sit here and say what you could have done. I don't know what they could have done. Here's what I know. Here's what I believe. It is 2026. Most of us have access to all the information we want or need in our phone. Most of us. to the extent some of us don't, those people would have access to some other local television network. And if you don't have access to neither one of those things in times of trouble, like just a possible tornado is probably the least of your worries at that point. You know, you probably already lost the game of life. And so you're probably not that concerned about a tornado one way or another. Like if you don't have a phone or access to a different television network, you probably don't care that much. So, given I think all of that stuff is true, here's what I believe. I don't care what the laws are, what the regulations are. They should be fixed. Address them. Nobody likes this. Nobody likes for the Academy Awards to be on and for 4 different television stations to be telling us the same shit that probably ain't going to have anything to do with our lives. I know that it might, and I know that it's dangerous. I'm not saying we don't need it anywhere. I'm just saying we don't need it in 4 different places. It's like putting 4 Wendy's right next to each other. Why do we need 4 Wendy's right next to each other? If I want Wendy's and I need Wendy's, and sometimes you do need Wendy's, like Frosties are good. You dip a French fry in a Frosty?
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. Oh, of course I do.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, if I ever get to a point where I need a Frosty, I don't need 4 Wendy's right next to each other. You following me here?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a Wendy's on Channel 3, and then a Wendy's on Channel 5, and then a Wendy's on Channel 13, and then a Wendy's on Channel 24. If you're all serving the same stuff, and I know Wendy's Nations, and like I know we got different people doing. I ain't trying to tell you there ain't no difference between a Wendy Nations and a Chelsea Chandler. I ain't trying to pit nobody against nobody. I'm just saying if you're more or less all giving us the same information, the same Frosty, I don't need 4 different places to get that Frosty right next to each other. How about this? Give me a Frosty option on Channel 3. Give me a Frosty option on Channel 5 if you want to. But on Channel 24, can you just give me an Oscars option? And if I really get consumed with the Frosty, I can go back to Channel 3. But I kind of want to see what's going on with Leo and Timothy.
Yeah. I do too.
I know that might not be allowed. What I'm telling you is it feels like as a country, we're doing a whole bunch of stuff that's not really allowed.
Right. Yeah, what would have happened?
Really? We've removed 2 countries' leaders in recent months.
Bro.
I think we could show the Academy Awards.
I do too. And man, me and you have done some questionable things on this show over the years. The SEC ain't never came after us. Like, no. They don't care.
No.
They don't care. They're cool. They're totally cool. Those people are great. They're cool.
I don't think the international community is going to come down on us for showing the Oscars.
I don't either.
For showing the Oscars instead of a tornado warning in Corinth. All right? I don't think the international.
I love Corinth, by the way. My grandma's from Corinth. So shout out Corinth, Mississippi. Great place.
I love Corinth, man. I think I charged my car in Corinth one time or something.
Good. Yeah, so there was that. I mean, I did get to see like the last hour, so that was good. I saw like all the major awards, and so that was good.
On the list of things the international community could be upset with our country about right now, I think the idea that we would have shown the Academy Awards on Channel 24 instead of a tornado warning in Corinth, legal or otherwise, I don't think it would have.
I think we could have gone away with it. I really do.
It feels like we get away with everything else.
I think we could have gotten away with that one. I do.
It feels like we get away with everything else.
I stand on that. Yep.
So it's one of those things. Here, you know what it's like, and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like daylight savings. We have it.
Mm-hmm.
We've had it forever. Nobody likes it.
No, everybody hates that too.
It seems wildly unnecessary in the year 2026. I understand why it might have been necessary once upon a time. I've read all that stuff.
Yeah.
You will not convince me it's necessary in the year 2026. You will also not convince me it's the biggest thing in the world, but you will not convince me it's necessary.
Right.
And most people don't like it, so we shouldn't have it. This is similar. Most people do not want 4 options to watch tornado warnings when it rips away their option to watch something they want to watch, like a important basketball game or an important football game or an award show. And like, I got it, quotes around the word important. Perhaps none of this stuff is important relative to, a tornado coming at your house. I got it. I'm just saying, if you have access to a TV, if Channel 24 is showing the Academy Awards and you really need to be focused on weather warnings, let me show you how to do that. You ready for this? Mm-hmm. You do that?
That's right.
In fact, you could probably just do this. Siri, show me tornado warnings. Siri, give me windy nations, please. Siri, put Chelsea Chandler on my TV. You could probably just do that, right?
Yeah.
It's 2026.
Yeah.
We don't need. So I empathize with you, but I didn't see a second of the Oscars, not because I didn't have access to them, but because I was working. But I did go back and I watched Conan's monologue, which I thought was fine.
Yep.
No, I like Conan. And I watched Michael B. Jordan's speech because people told me that was sweet. And he had his mother there and his father there.
Good.
His father flew in from Ghana. I thought all of that was sweet. He seemed genuinely moved by the moment. And I saw a picture circulating of he and Leonardo DiCaprio embracing after the win, and he seemed moved by that moment. So it seemed like a sweet night, but I only watched I watched some of it after the fact.
Yeah, I was super excited for him, especially considering John Roser came in here on Friday and said his performance in Sinners was mid, and I just almost fell out of my chair.
What?
Yeah,
he played two people. He played two people.
That's exactly what I said. That is exactly what I said.
I like Timothée Chalamet. I ain't in ballet, so he ain't bothering me none. I like Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed that movie. I thought Marty Supreme was great. I was surprised it didn't win anything last night. I was kind of bummed for them.
Do you think his comments impacted things?
Yes. Yes.
Here's the thing, poor guy. Because I really do think. Because I see people now tweet things like, "I thought he was supposed to be different. I thought he was going to be a different kind of leading man," and it's like, I think he is different, probably. I think he seems like an awesome dude who probably just said something he shouldn't have said.
And then whatever. He was.
And whatever.
He was being funny. I think what happened with him, honestly, is I think that they want you to really do things a certain way, because he was great in that movie, Marty Supreme. I think that maybe the people that vote on these things in the Academy think, I don't like how he goes about promoting himself, or because he does it he's done this in a different way than you've seen in the past. He's going on all the big podcasts, you see him everywhere. And it typically hasn't really been done that way in the past. And I think they want you to go about things a certain way. He's going to win one. Timothée Chalamet is going to get himself an Oscar one day. It's just going to take longer than maybe he thought.
If his biggest public misstep is being dismissive of ballet and opera, then he'll be fine.
That's right.
But it has been a public misstep, and you can feel it sort of. You can feel it when he walks in that room. He knows that people are thinking that, and somebody's going to get their jokes off. And, he took it from Steven Spielberg the other day. So I bet it eats him up, because he does care about this stuff. He is one of those. He is one of those, I don't know if Leonardo DiCaprio cares what people think about him. He certainly presents himself in a way that he doesn't seem to. He's not out there on social media trying to show you his glamorous life. He's not out there constantly doing interviews talking about how awesome his life is. He doesn't seem to care whether you think he's great or not. He's just sort of living his life and doing his thing. He might care. I don't know. I'm just saying there's no indication that he does in any sort of meaningful way. There's 1,000 indications that Timothée Chalamet cares what people think of him, and cares about his work, and wants the awards, and wants the accolades, and wants the attention. And I don't know if this is the first time, but it's certainly the biggest example since he's really become a superstar, where the public has sort of turned on him a little bit. You watch Weekend Update, they're going to get a Chalamet joke in there. And keep in mind, he hosted that, and he's from New York. He's in that building. He knows those people. And even they feel like, hey, if we're going to be fair, we got to get a Chalamet joke off now. So he's sort of reached that point. No big deal. Like, again, if this is his biggest misstep, he's going to be fine.
Right.
But it does feel like it's turned on him a little bit where he might need to disappear for a few months. Like if you were in PR, this might be the place where people say you might need to disappear for a few months. Let people miss you a little bit because right now they're not.
Oh, well, we got to do that Dune 3 press tour pretty soon. So
is that coming up?
I think Dune 3's dropping. It's either this summer or Christmas. But he got a big movie coming out this year. So that'll be good.
Well, then you know what? Then maybe I should just let Timothée Chalamet play in his own life.
Yeah, maybe so. I think he'll be fine. I was super glad for Paul Thomas Anderson getting the director nod. He's one of our great directors. Like it would be criminal for him to not have that trophy at some point.
And did you see the tweet from Skip Bayless?
What'd he say?
It's either so good or so ridiculous, and I it's hard for me to tell sometimes. He said, tried to watch one battle after another, couldn't last 40 minutes, something like that. And it's one of those things where if it's just the equivalent of everybody thinks LeBron's great, so I'm going to crap on LeBron. Everybody thinks this movie is like generationally good. I'm just going to shit on it. Like if that's just what you're doing, then that's fine. That's just your bit. But if it's not that, if he like really tried to watch, if you take him at his word, I tried to watch this movie, I couldn't last 40 minutes. That is so. I promise you, I will never do this. I will never be like, at my age, like, and the number one album in the world is Playboy, is Playboy Cardi, right? And I'm like. And I go, tried to listen to Playboy Cardi's new album, couldn't get through 3 tracks. Like, nobody wants to hear that.
I hate it. Nobody wants to hear that, bro. I know.
You are old and you are out of touch, and that's what that means every time. Every time. I promise you, when I was 18, there was somebody who looked exactly like me who was like, tried to listen to Nirvana's Nevermind. I couldn't get through 4 tracks. They're like, they didn't tweet it back then because you couldn't, but they were thinking it and yelling it into their car radios, right?
Oh, dude, it's like last night just seeing some of the discourse. It's like you're never really gonna get the handful of people who are like Sinner sucks, and it's like what? Okay, so there's like some big conspiracy just to make this movie nominated for all of these awards. That just sucks. Like, okay, man.
Sinners was great, and it deserves what it got. One Battle After Another was considered by most film critics, or at least lots of film critics, to be not only the best film of the year, but like one of the best films of this century. Like that's not like an argument actual people who understand film are having. It's like you either loved it and think it's an all-time great film, or you really enjoyed it and think it's the best film of the year. But anything outside of those opinions is the outlier. And so when you then jump on Twitter as an old man and be like, I tried to watch the film that everybody says is great and I couldn't get through 40 minutes, unless it's a bit, you just sound ridiculous. And I
agree.
I hold myself. Like, if I'm being honest, like I do listen to all sorts of new music. And so when that Playboy Cardi album came out, like I wanted to hear it. It had a Kendrick feature on it. I was like, okay, not for me. It is not for me. Like that Playboy Cardi album sounded like what every old white person thought Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime show sounded like. Okay, that's the stuff that you like. That it's just not for that. It's just not for me. But you ready? This is the first time I've ever said that publicly. I was not going to tweet. Tried to listen to Playboy. Who wants to hear a 49-year-old man who looks like me talk about tried to listen to Playboy Cardi? I don't get it. Like, yeah, of course you don't get it, dude. You're old. Like you're probably close to having grandkids. All right, okay. And that's what it feels like when you start criticizing new film, new music. You just sound your age. And so I will never do it. I will not enjoy every new thing that comes along, every new film, every new album, every new act. But you ain't going to see me out there spinning a Madonna album talking about, I just don't get Olivia Rodrigo. Like, Olivia Rodrigo was awesome in this time, the same way every time has awesome people.
Yeah.
That'll never change. And if you can't recognize when you tweet things like that, you sound exactly like the thing you swore you would never become, then maybe this will serve as a reminder maybe this will serve as a reminder. Be back with Carryout.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Now that's the new edition way.
I feel like there's another level we can take it to.
What you think, Mike? 2 steps ahead of you, Slick.
What's good, bro?
What you doing, man?
I'm in.
Woman, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to ask you.
Here's the vision. All 3 of us on the same stage every night. Gonna be crazy.
No barriers, no separation. It'll be like 9 kings and a queen.
The next level starts now.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Every Monday, we're giving you a chance to win free Sonic. Just hit the link pinned in the YouTube chat to enter for a Sonic gift card. Jump into the chat right now, hang with us, and maybe eat free Sonic 2. Let's wrap this up with Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
Oh, we got a college basketball headline out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Aiden Holloway, important piece for the Crimson Tide, has been arrested. First-degree possession. They recovered more than a pound of marijuana after conducting a search of a residence in the 400 block of 30th Avenue East earlier today. He's 21 years old. Aiden Holloway was transported to the Tuscaloosa County Jail. His bond has been set at $5,000. Well, that's not good. That's not how you want to head into March Madness, is it?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, just in the year 2026, I don't believe it's a good idea to carry around a pound of marijuana. There's probably other ways to go about that.
Well, you just do. I mean, how about this? You probably don't need to be carrying around a pound of marijuana in a state where you aren't allowed to do that. You could carry around a pound of marijuana in Mississippi, no problem, if you got the little license to go with it.
A pound?
I
don't think they let y'all carrying around. I don't think they're letting y'all carry around a pound down there. That seems excessive. I might have to go check the laws, but I'm not so sure.
Let me check and get back to you.
Yeah, you be careful down there.
I can tell you the limits have been raised dramatically in the past year.
Okay. Well, let me hang on now. This is a big development. Let me see what Hofstra's been up to this season.
Whatever the limits used to be, they have raised dramatically over the past year.
Okay, I think I'll still roll with the Tide this weekend. I think I'll still roll with the Tide this weekend.
I will say, this is one where obviously stupid, reckless, shouldn't be doing it. You put your basketball program at risk, and, you had to be booked and fingerprinted and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I do find it fundamentally ridiculous that it's illegal to have marijuana in the year 2026 in the United States of America, in some states. Like, if my oldest son got pulled over with a pound of weed in his car, I would say, I can't believe it's illegal for you to have a pound of weed in the year 2026 in the United States of America. But Jesus Christ, man, why were you driving around with it? You knew you shouldn't have had that. Like, both things can be true at the same time. Aiden Holloway should not have put himself in this position. But broadly speaking, it is crazy that I could legally have that in my home, no problem. And yet one state over, somebody can't.
Bro, Hofstra's won 11 out of 12.
Get on the pride if you want to get on the pride.
Just saying, this little controversy. I mean, I just, I'm just saying.
Get on the pride if you want to get on the pride.
Hey, and we've talked about Alabama. You know how they play a dangerous style of basketball. If those threes ain't dropping.
The threes ain't dropping, Bennett. They got problems. They're going to shoot about half their shots, maybe even more from out there. So Alabama Hofstra's a first-round matchup, and now you've got a notable development to Alabama's roster. They got to get Aiden Holloway out of jail, and then they'll figure out if he can. They'll figure out if he can play.
What's today's biggest game?
I'm taking you to the World Baseball Classic, I think, Bennett.
I think that you have to at this point.
It's Venezuela against Italy. Venezuela eliminated Japan the other night in an all-time classic. You know what? I don't think the pitchers have been announced yet.
Okay.
Or at least the betting market is not set on the app that I'm looking at. So we're just going to call it a pick 'em. You're laying minus 110. Venezuela or Italy? What you want?
Okay, I really want Italy. And the reason being is because they have my favorite celebration that I've ever seen in baseball, where everyone takes a shot of espresso after a home run. And I just want to see them hit like 10 home runs and everyone just be insanely jacked up on coffee during this game.
The World Baseball Classic is awesome.
It has been pretty fun. And I mean, you asked me about it early on, and I was like, no, I'm not really watching. But I did tune in this weekend. I mean, it's been really good.
Last night was great with Paul Skeens. And did you see who's on the bump for the United States tomorrow in the championship game?
Who we got?
New York Mets stud Nolan McLean. You might remember he got called up late last season and was awesome. Like the lone bright spot, or one of the few bright spots in an otherwise miserable season. And now he's trying to get that gold medal. If they hand out gold medals, I don't know if they do or not. Either way.
I don't know if it's gold medals. I'm sure there's some kind of medal.
I'm sure there's gold. I'm sure the color gold's somewhere.
I'm sure there's gold involved, yes.
I'm sure there's gold somewhere, all right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna put America's fate in the hands of a Met.
Okay.
And I don't historically that ain't the smartest thing you can do. We'll see how it goes. World Baseball Classic. Who'd you pick? Remind me again.
I picked Italy.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then I hope it works out for you.
Yep.
What are we watching on TV?
It's the first Raw on Netflix since, am I getting this right? Since Randy Orton turned heel?
He beat the crap out of Cody Rhodes.
Everybody
bloodied him, just beat him good.
If I were Cody Rhodes, at some point I would go to my bosses and I'd be like, listen, I appreciate
keep doing this to me.
Why is it always me bleeding?
Yes. Why
Cody
do all
Rhodes,
the legends of the sport just get to beat the crap out of me every couple months?
Like, we went through a little phase like Solo Sikoa was sticking his thumb in his throat nonstop. And then
The Rock humiliated him on and off air. I mean, they were doing that thing after the cameras went off. He was still beating him up.
And now he's out there like trying to shake Randy Orton's hand, being like, I love Randy Orton. This is my best friend, Randy Orton. Man, Randy Orton's always been there for me. I love Randy Orton. You know what Randy Orton did? He's like, I'll kick you in the nuts, Cody Rhodes, and now you're bleeding. Why is everybody always kicking Cody Rhodes in the nuts?
Yeah, I think he might be entitled to some workers' comp or something in this whole
He deserves
situation.
workers' comp for sure. If I were Cody Rhodes, I'd be like, all right, is this the way it works? You guys just tell me over and over again, I'm the face of the whole deal. I'm the face of the deal. And then I'm like, I'm the face of the deal. And I just walk around feeling good about myself all the time while forgetting that I'm just getting the shit kicked out of me every Monday and Friday.
Not great.
It's not great. Anyway,
Cody deserves better, yeah.
I think Cody deserves better. Raw on Netflix tonight. Randy Orton is a heel now. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes from here.
What's the best thing we've read?
Final top 25 and 1 of the season has published. Oh, thank God, buddy.
I know you're glad.
Yeah, just imagine if there's something you have to wake up and do every morning. It's like, this is a thing I have to do every day, and it will take at least 45 minutes every day. It's a chore every morning. Like if I made my kids wake up and like make their bed and clean their room and fold clothes. Every morning when you get up, the first 45 minutes of your day is going to be a chore. That's how I spend my life. I wake up every day and I do at least a 45-minute chore. And now I don't have to do that anymore. So I'm real excited.
Good.
Duke finished number 1 in the top 25 and 1, Arizona 2, Michigan 3, Florida 4. You can read it, cbssports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's going to be Tuesday. I was trying to come home, be in studio. I got trapped here. Blame it on the weather. Blame it on the alcohol. But blame it on the weather. Either way, I'll be here in New York City. Dr. Ed Scott, the athletic director at the University of Memphis, is going to join me on Zoom. I'll chop it up with him around 10:15, 10:20. We'll talk about the university's decision to bring back Penny Hardaway for a 9th season. What will the standards be heading into that 9th season? What will be expected for Penny Hardaway to get a 10th year at his alma mater? Ed Scott, the athletic director at Memphis, will join me on tomorrow's show. Can't wait to talk to him. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll try to enjoy mine. Let's meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.